defense, Sony Michel, and Terry McLaurin. So yes, you heard me. In a 10-person league, how I was able to pull off the best wide receiving core, how I was able to pull off probably the best running back combo. There is one other person that has Christian McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs, but I'm definitely second behind that. I have the arguably the best tight end in football. I could have David Johnson, who could be the comeback player of the year, DJ Chark, Hunter Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Phillip Rivers, the Cowboys defense, which with the addition of Everson Griffin could be a staple. They just got I forget what his name is, but he just got reinstated. Sony Michel, Terry McLaurin. I've got a very good bench. I'm making moves right now, and I will kind of whisper these out to you because I've got I've got some listeners that I'm in the fantasy league with that definitely know what's going on. But I've got a couple trades out there, and I won't tell you who I'm trading for what. But let's put it this way. I've got a trade out there trying to pick up Lamar Jackson, and I've also got a trade out there trying to pick up Kyler Murray. So if I land either one of those, I'm sorry, but I apologize to that entire league because it is game over. Best wide receiving core, second best running back dynamic duo, great tight ends, great defenses. I am set in that league. I just thought I'd brag a little bit because that was out of 10-person league. How I pulled that off simply was the fact that I got lucky, man. I really did. Fantasy does fall down to a lot of luck. You hope someone doesn't take your players that you want. But I highly recommend if you are an active fantasy player, research it, listen, do your homework behind the scenes. It took me 2 whole days to sit down and really digest the fantasy football world. And I've never done that before. And I have 2 number 1 ranked teams simply after 2 days of working. So make sure that if you're a fantasy football lover, if you want to play the week-to-week stuff on FanDuel, on Draft Day, DraftKings, whatever it is, there's a bunch of them out there. Do your homework first. That's the easiest way to make money. It's the easiest way in order for you to have the best chance possible to do whatever you're going to do while doing it. So there you have it. That is my fantasy football teams for the year. Like I said, follow us on Instagram, the Locker Room Podcast 615, to have a full update week to week. You can help me pick at home. You can help me find my starters. You can help me win a Super Bowl. And speaking of Super Bowl, from now on until the end of the football season, we'll be doing a weekly preview and a weekly review of NFL games. That is right. So every portion of our Tuesday show will always have an NFL recap of the week where we recap some of our favorite moments, best plays, best games from the NFL season. Titans fans, you get a special breakdown. That is right. You get a special Tennessee Titans only breakdown every day following one of their games. So if it's a Thursday game, it will come out on Friday. Monday, it will come out on Tuesday. Sunday, of course, come out on Monday. And it will be simply on Instagram only. So not saying that I will never talk about the Titans, but we will be doing a special off segment on Instagram TV every day following a Titans game where I do a more in-depth breakdown of what I like, what I don't like, what I see from these Tennessee Titans, from our Tennessee Titans. So make sure, like I said, Instagram is about to be your go-to for everything locker room. So make sure that you're subscribed and signed up and following us so you can be an exclusive member of your Titans recap fam. All right, so let's go into the preview of not only Thursday, but some previews of the games on Sunday. Football season gets kicked off the right way with the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes taking on the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. Here's what I take away from this game. Here's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Clyde Edwards-Helaire in that offense. I'm looking forward to see Patrick Mahomes coming out of the gate firing on all cylinders. What else am I looking forward to seeing? Deshaun Watson and David Johnson. Those two on both sides for me are the most intriguing things to watch in Week 1 opening game Thursday night. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs get it done by at least 2 touchdowns. Don't see the Texans having enough firepower this year, losing DeAndre Hopkins. But what I'm interested to see is, can the Texans find success with Deshaun Watson and now newly acquired running back David Johnson? David Johnson is a sleeper pick for me, not only in my fantasy, but he is a sleeper pick for candidate of return player of the year, along with, of course, Ben Roethlisberger. What I have seen from David Johnson in practices already looks surprising, looks exciting. David Johnson was a top 5 back 2 years ago before he got hurt, right? He started off last year as a top 2 back, then he got hurt early on. I'm excited to see if he can stay healthy and Deshaun Watson can be who Deshaun Watson is and really elevate his game to Deshaun Magic Watson. These Houston Texans are going to be very hard to beat in the AFC South. Now, I still do believe the Colts win that division and the Titans wrap up second, with the exception of now adding Jadaveon Clowney, which we will talk about in just a moment. I see a Houston Texans team that is slowly growing. What I don't like is that they don't have the weapons nearly that they had on the offensive side of the ball, more importantly, the wide receiver side of the ball. Losing DeAndre Hopkins was a huge miss because Will Fuller can be a stud, but he's always hurt. You have Randall Cobb, who's a little bit older. You have Brandon Cooks, who's a burner. He's not a turner. He's not going to come in and get you. He's not going to be a possession wide receiver down to down. He's going to be a burner and trying to get behind you. So I'm intrigued to see if David Johnson and Deshaun Watson can form some sort of chemistry to really elevate this team to the next level. And the reason I'm excited to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if I could say his name properly, is a lot of people chose Clyde Edwards-Helaire very early on in fantasy this year. People expect big things out of him. I don't believe he's going to initially make the impact that a lot of people do. I would look at someone more like an Antonio Gibbs from Washington, the rookie. I really like him on that side of the ball, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is very intriguing for me. I'd like to see if he can catch balls out of the backfield the way people think he can. And if that's the case, this offense just got unguardable. 100%. They are in the same conversation with the Bucs as being unguardable. So I'd like to see those two matchups, Patrick Mahomes and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then, of course, Deshaun Watson, David Johnson. But game one of the entire NFL season, I have the Kansas City Chiefs, the returning Super Bowl champs, doing what they do best and winning by 14. Now, as this segment goes on from week to week, we are going to have specific games. It's going to be the same thing that you see with our college football segment. Is that we're going to have specific games that I really want to detail and focus on. For this opening week and for the opening week of college football, I just wanted to appreciate the sport. I just want to appreciate some of these matchups. So we're just going to go through every game on Sunday, and I'm going to pick winner, loser, what I think and what I like about them. Starting off with, we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Atlanta Falcons. What am I intrigued to see? Russell Wilson and that offensive line and defensive line, because that offensive line is not good and that defensive line is not great. So you have two very bad positions there in Seattle. I'm interested to see, is Russell Wilson going to have to continually put this team on his back and drag them to finish lines, or if those lines can step up this year. For what am I excited to see about the Atlanta Falcons? I'm excited to see Julio this year. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I'm excited to see Matt Ryan return to Matt Ryan form. Here's something interesting about Matt Ryan. Every year Matt Ryan plays like a top 15 quarterback. The following season, he plays like a top 5 quarterback. Statistically proven. He has a good year to a great year, a good year to a great year, a good year to a great year. That's how he works. This year, he is destined for a great year statistically, and from what I have seen in the past, from what I have broken down statistical wise, this is what he does. So if he has a top 5 year, what am I intrigued to see? If these Atlanta Falcons can really make a push to win this division. You've got a very good running back now in Todd Gurley. You've got Hooper at the tight end position. You've got Julio. You've got Calvin Ridley. You've got the weapons on offense now to really stick your foot in the ground and make a push for the top of this division. And if you have a quarterback playing at the top 5 level, then what I'm saying is, Atlanta Falcons, you better come out with some dubs this year because you have a lot going for you. So that's what I'm intrigued to see with matchup week 1. I expect Russell Wilson to get it done week 1. Seattle Seahawks win by 3. Now we're moving down to the Jets versus the Bills. The Bills will walk away with this game, even though the Jets will play with a lot of heart and Le'Veon Bell might give a little bit of boost on the offensive side. And Sam Darnold is finally healthy, but after trading away Robbie Anderson, after trading away half of their frickin' team, no one's got an answer for the Bills. The Bills have arguably the 4th or 5th best defense. Some even say the 3rd best defense in the entire league. The Bills have good firepower. You have Stephon Diggs now. You have Brown. You have Allen. You have Singletary in the backfield. You have Zach Moss in the backfield, who's going to be a huge boost for them that they are not going to see coming. I've got the Bills by at least 12. At least. I say the Bills handle this one pretty simply. Now we've got Chicago versus Detroit. This is going to be a very tough matchup for Chicago because Matthew Stafford is healthy. Matthew Stafford is alive and well. They just signed Adrian Peterson in the backfield, which is going to give them some depth with Johnson back there as well. They have the rookie Swift back there as well, but I don't think he's going to be playing due to some injuries, and if he is, it's going to be very limited. The Lions are not a bad team. Matthew Stafford was playing statistically like a top 3 quarterback and was an MVP candidate before he got hurt last year. He was slinging the rock wherever he wanted to sling it, and it was getting to where it needed to go. So in this matchup, what am I excited to see? I'm excited to see Matthew Stafford, and I'm excited to see a newly buffed up backfield for the Detroit Lions. Now, they don't like to run it a whole lot, but Kerryon Johnson back there. Now you've got Adrian Peterson. You've got Swift, the rookie, who eventually will be healthy enough to get going. They're gonna be a hard offense to stop, especially in the NFC North division. Who do I like in this game? Chicago. Here's why I like Chicago. Chicago always starts off pretty darn good, and they have the second best defense in this entire league. There's just no question about it. What I like about Chicago is you've got Quinn, you've got Mack, you've got Jackson back there. You've got so many defensive weapons. I just don't see the Lions having enough to power through that. Say the Bears win by 3. What am I intrigued to see from the Bears this year? Who is at the helm of the quarterback position? Because that could be the difference with a Super Bowl run for the Chicago Bears. Packers versus Vikings, Week 1. Such a great matchup as well in the NFC North. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins seems to be taking it to another level. You know, it's not a heavy primetime game in the evening, so you don't have to worry about choking Cousins. I'm excited to see Dalvin Cook again. That's probably my biggest takeaway. Can Dalvin Cook take another step to being a top 2 running back in this league by staying healthy? That is his biggest problem. If Dalvin Cook could stay healthy, these Minnesota Vikings are going to be a nightmare to deal with in that division. So Dalvin Cook is definitely my biggest takeaway for the Minnesota Vikings. What's my biggest takeaway from the Green Bay Packers? Is this thing going to be as big of a train wreck as I believe it will be? You almost make it to a Super Bowl last year. You go out and draft Jordan Love, a quarterback, and you go out and draft Dylan, a running back, for this draft. Matt LaFleur is turning this offense into a Tennessee Titans offense, but here's the problem. You don't have Derrick Henry in your damn backfield, so I don't understand why you're trying to model it like you do. So I don't believe LaFleur stays around there too much longer unless the Packers just buy in and don't care if Aaron Rodgers gets pissed and gets out of there. I do not see a lot of success from Green Bay this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out with a vengeance. He's going to come out and try and throw his way to a lot of wins this year. But I've got Minnesota. I'm intrigued to see the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and head coach Matt LaFleur. That is my biggest takeaway, what I'm most excited to watch from them. Moving down to the Dolphins versus the Patriots. What am I excited for the Dolphins side of the ball? How does Tua Tagovailoa look? That is probably the most intriguing thing with this team. If Tua Tagovailoa can start playing like a top 5 quarterback in this league, like most people think he can, if he can just perform, these Miami Dolphins are loaded on defense, loaded on offense. Their offensive line and defensive line needs a lot of work. Defensive line, not as much, but offensive line definitely need more protection for the young quarterback, especially one who's injury prone. But that's probably what I'm most excited about. What can happen in Miami with Tua Tagovailoa? Moving down, the New England Patriots. It's hard to not want to just say you're looking forward to seeing Cam Newton and what can these Patriots do without Tom Brady. Listen, this is a vengeance year for Bill Belichick. He is coming out to say, I don't need Tom Brady. You put anybody that can throw a ball more than 2 yards behind the quarterback position, and we are going to win our division every single year. I fully expect New England to win this division. I fully expect their defense to play lights out, even though they're missing some people and some people are sitting out for COVID. I fully expect this offense to pick up kind of where it left off. I see no slouch here in New England. Division winners once again. Going back to my real quick, just because I missed this one, the Bears, I fully expect the Bears to pull out a close game against the Lions, Bears by at least 5. When it comes to the Dolphins, Patriots, I'm going to go with Patriots here, even though it's going to be a really close game, even though it's going to be a little bit of struggles from New England at the start. I'm going to go Patriots by 4.